What is up, guys? JPR Tech here, and today we are here with the question: are cheap, just good old generic Dell PCs that are really cheap, those combos that come with the keyboard and actually a cheap keyboard and a cheap mouse, and also if you slap in the monitor, you could get all that set in less than $700. Our office, real estate office, one PC went down and we had to replace it. So I already did the whole unboxing and my head was cut off throughout the whole video. So I'm just gonna edit that very quickly, and here's what that experience was like. Oh, even the tape is cheap. Let's try this side. Oh, this is gonna be a pain to remove and separate later when we recycle. And look what we got here. Power cord, got the mouse, warranty, support assistant. Here's the keyboard, Japanese keyboard, numeric keyboard pads and whatnot. Ooh, but this is like a chiclet style silent. Alright, they cheaping out, but it's not the chiclet style they used to have, but hey, at least it's silent. Last but not least, okay, they kept it stylish with the black styrofoam. What? This thing is huge. I mean, you gotta remember, guys, I'm coming from the Mac Mini that is like this size. It's like a little size of an apple pie. This is just the basic Core i3. I forgot which version. I believe it's the 13,000. I forget which versions we're in. Let's plug it up and see how everything runs. First, we gotta do the monitor, right? El monitor. Tape test. The weak tape. The pizza box design. We have a spec sheet. All right, we have here is probably a Vesta mount. I don't know if we'll need this. Looks like it's a cover. Ooh, HDMI cables. Manual. All right, here's the neck. Ooh, actually pretty short, right? I wonder how high this thing can get. Here's the foot. Whoa, that is huge. It's probably as big as my Mac Mini. It's actually longer than my Mac Mini. I gotta give it up for Dell though. For such a budget-minded company, they did a really good job with the packaging. Oh, that is nice. Look at that. You can even see the bezels because like the external part of the monitor extends to the edges. Now that is sexy. Alright, I'm gonna use this as protection. This must go here. Ooh, I love when things snap, and you must go there. Pretty easy peasy. And it's nice that it's toolless because it does come with a little bit of a plate, so you can just tighten it by hand and don't require any tools. Good job, Dell. Hook it up. We're ready to go and get started. So let's plug everything up, start installing. I can't wait to get started with installing and initializing Windows. Loads of fun. We're just gonna skip the whole installation. You know how to install Windows, so we're just gonna skip through the whole thing and show you the performance and give you a quick review and overview of this cheap, boring desktop for Office. But I gotta say, it's not that bad. Come on. I mean, yeah, it's boring, but pretty decent looking. Yeah, not bad. Alright, guys, and right now, so what we gotta do next, now that we had everything unboxed, unwrapped, and we're ready, set to go to finish our installation and setting up the initial Windows 11 setup. I can't wait. I am really not looking forward to this part because I know it's so long and slow. So let's just get started, and when I come back, we should have a fully running Windows 11 PC, and we'll do some benchmark because I know some of you are interested in that. With that said, let's just get started on the software side and we'll give you my final thoughts. Well, guys, so after all is said and done, I was able to finish the installation process. That was such a pain in the butt, but we got through with it. I was able to do some benchmark as well. I'm gonna share my results with you in a second, but first of all, let's just straight out answer the question: are these pre-built by the manufacturer cheap desktop really worth it? Especially the boring ones such as the Dell Inspiron, that is just a really generic looking, just something that you will see the DMV driver's vehicle center where you get your license. Those kind of desktops, are they really worth the price? Let's talk about some of the reasons why is something like this worth your investment. So pretty much anyone who doesn't need heavy GPU intensive activities such as gaming, editing, designing, then this PC is for you. These desktops, actually, I was really surprised by the 13th Intel processor generation. It's been a while since I messed with the CPU world, but yeah, this 13th gen, the Core i3-13100 does a really great job with performance. I felt it was snappy. Everything I open, I download, I even watch 4K videos, and it did it smoothly. Just really quick, a preview of the specs for this model. This is the cheapest bare model you could get in Dell company, in the Dell website, and including that monitor, it all came down to about $700. So we got a modern Intel 13th Gen Core i3, which is a quad-core CPU, so it's good enough for all your daily tasks. We got 8 gigs of DDR4, if I'm not mistaken. Also the SSD, the NVMe SSD drive that's in there, the 256 gigs, helps a lot. So it makes everything, the whole experience, very snappy. And of course, these Dell computers are all famous for their ports. You got tons of ports. You got HDMI, display port, you got USB 3 all over the place. And yeah, that's just great for expandability. And also you have the added bonus of having an optical drive if you need to burn a CD or a DVD. I don't know, but hey, it's there. And it includes with security, the McAfee 1 year free security. Not bad, thank you for that. We can always appreciate a little bit more security. And that's about it. That's all you get. Everything else just pretty cheap. The keyboard, the mouse. And lastly, let's just talk about some of the cons that I noticed. And of course, one of the biggest cons is Windows 11. I know I might get butchered in YouTube. Let's just all have a little bit of freedom of opinion. I'm a Mac user, and yeah, Windows 11 is a pain to install. They really gotta take tips from Linux and from Mac on how to install a fresh OS. It's so simple. I don't know why Windows makes it so annoying. Aside from that, you got the power supply that is kind of like a little bit on the weak side, just barely enough, I'm sure, to power this thing. So expandability is very limited. That includes the storage. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure if I'm correct about this, but I think there's only just one extension slot for storage, so that limits the storage you can add to this unit. Integrated graphics, even though again the CPU just blew my mind how well it worked, the graphics side is on the poor side, so don't expect any heavy gaming. Other than that, it's an amazing computing machine. It does everything very smoothly and fast. So I was personally surprised by this thing, so I'm sure my boss is gonna be super happy with the upgrade he's about to do. And here's the moment I know all of you been waiting for: benchmarks. And for the Cinebench, I only ran Cinebench because that's the most popular one and probably the one most of you are interested, because this is not a GPU. So we're not gonna focus on the GPU side, we're gonna focus on the CPU. So we just ran Cinebench R23. Now, single CPU is another thing. That's M1 Mac Mini, 8 gigs, the 256 gig version, got 1,504 points, so 1,504 points on the single core performance. And this Dell one with the 13th generation Intel Core i3, the 13100, that got a single score of 1,696. Now for the multi-score, this got 8,300 points. That is not bad. That actually, the multi-score actually beats my M1 Mac Mini, which is the basic one that, again, same 8 gigs, and that one just was shy of the 8,000 mark. It was 7,850 points. So 7,150 points is just shy of the 8,000, but they're basically pretty much on par. That's what I get from the score of the multi-score. So on spec wise, this computer outperforms my M1 Mac Mini. And in everyday tasks, they seem to be on par. I can't tell one from the other, but I did notice that my M1 Mac Mini does a way better job streaming 4K. It can even stream 8K from YouTube. I can work on 4K files editing, but that performance is probably getting a heavy boost out of the 10 cores, the GPU cores that the M1 chip does have built inside its chip. So that just puts the M1 Mac Mini in a different level than this one. So the Mac Mini is more like a entry-level editing machine. This is an entry-level computing machine. So for CPU task only, whether it's Office, Word, Excel, this is gonna do just as good as the Mac, maybe even a little better. But everything else, they're pretty much on par. Just the Mac Mini has a little bit more of a GPU core force, so it could perform in other tasks as well. But anyway, this is not comparing those two machines. They're apple and oranges. You know, we can't really compare these two, so I'm not gonna do the comparison, but I was just curious about how a modern base cheap CPU does against Apple's base model CPU or their ARM chip CPU. But anyways, back to the Dell. In conclusion, I think this is still a great buy because for the same price of an M1 Mac Mini, which is just a bare computer with no peripherals and no monitor whatsoever, you get this. You get a full-fledged computer, including keyboard, mouse, monitor. Everything is set to go with a modern OS and modern specs. So definitely this is worth going. All in all, I think even though it's limited with the expansion and the power, it is still a great buy because it does more than enough for modern work, and especially the office worker. So with that said, I hope this video was beneficial to some people out there. If you're curious about a desktop like this, there it is, there you have it. It's nice and slim looking. We got optical drive. It's been years since I've touched one, and it's got a bunch of other perks that modern PCs have, and it's a great buy. So if you found this video educational, beneficial, hit a like. Don't hit it, just smash it. Just go crazy and just smash that like button. Subscribe for future reviews and DIYs and how-tos. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace. Now we gotta take this to the boss. Yeah. Oh, by the way, this monitor